evening. My name is Admiral Paris, and this is Barbara Strategy. Tonight, I'm going to talk about the inaugural speech, the second inaugural speech that Donald Trump gave. The Marine Corps, we call in logistics beans, bullets, and band-aids. Before you talk about anything, missiles, tanks, guns, rifles, ammunition, before you talk about any of that, the number one defense of the United States of national security is your manufacturing basis. Because if you don't have your manufacturing basis, you ain't going to have any beans, bullets, and band-aids. So the thing that Trump wants to do is he wants to open up one of the ways to decrease the costs of Americans, not just our driving and our personal expenses, but decrease the cost of manufacturing, is to increase our fuel supply and decrease its price. And so this is where the drill baby drill comes through. But I've listened to other reports, and we need to focus also on coal, nuclear. We need all forms of energy. But the bottom line here is that if you increase the price, if you increase the supply of fuel, it decreases the cost of fuel, and therefore it can increase your manufacturing base because you're decreasing your expenses. This is all economics. So Trump's trying to attack this from both ends, with the Doge Committee of reducing the cost and spending of government and all the waste, and then on the other end, try to free up the fuel cost to lower it. And that doesn't just help regular Americans driving their cars around or heating their homes, but it also is going to help the manufacturing base. So when he brings in the tariffs and makes it more difficult to bring goods into the United States, then it will open up a manufacturing base and it'll make it that much easier. So you have all these sliding scales that have to work in conjunction with each other. And this is what Trump is trying to do.
America will be a manufacturing nation once again, and we have something that no other manufacturing nation will ever have, the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we are going to use it. We will bring prices down, fill our strategic reserves up again, right to the top, and export American energy all over the world. We will be a rich nation again, and it is that liquid gold under our feet that will help to do it. With my actions today, we will end the Green New Deal, and we will revoke the electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto industry and keeping my sacred pledge to our great American auto workers. In other words, you'll be able to buy the car of your choice. We will build automobiles in America again at a rate that nobody could have dreamt possible just a few years ago. And thank you to the auto workers of our nation for your inspiring vote of confidence. We did tremendously with their vote.
So you see right there, by ending the Green New Deal and pulling out of these Paris climate accords, it is going to immediately bring a rush of money back into our manufacturing-based system, because a big problem that we've had is that all of this rumbling about how we're going to move to electric cars, and there's this mandate that we're going to get rid of the gasoline cars by 2035 or whatever it is, that causes a disturbance. Anytime you cause a disturbance, a disruption, or how can I say it? It's like you're going to have a party. You're going to have a party, and you've got people that you invited, and they're questioning whether they should come to your party or not. But every time that they hear that there might be bad weather, or that so-and-so is going to be invited to the party and they don't want to see so-and-so, or there's going to be, they're going to have to pay a door fee to get into the party. All of those things make people, they still might want to come to the party, but it makes them pause and think, And so they don't send back their RSVP in time, because they think, well, wait a minute, if I don't know if I want to go to this party or not. I have to think about it for a while. And so they end up waiting, to the last minute, and then half of them don't show up. The reason this relates to the economy is that you have investment dollars. And every time you put out something that makes investors question whether they're going to get their money back, or whether they should invest or not invest in this or that, it makes the investors say, I think I'm just going to keep the money for now, and I'm going to see what happens in the market. What you want is somebody like Trump, and I think Trump really gets this, is that you want a stable market. You want to say, you know what, for the next 20,000 years, things are going to be a level playing field. Manufacturing is going to boom. Fuel is going to be cheap. All of these things. And that makes investors say, oh, well, you know what? I think I will invest in XYZ company. I think I am going to order that equipment. I think I am going to take a loan out from the bank and put up my collateral. Then you get things moving. This is part of the reason we've had such a stagnation in our growth. We're all about, buying goods from overseas, and oil prices are too high, and the middle class is getting diminished, and it makes investors worry, and they think, well, if I put my money out there, am I going to lose it? I don't know. I think today I'm going to keep my money at home. What Trump is doing is going to stimulate the economy. Just the mere mention of these things, even if he doesn't accomplish everything that he wants to accomplish, the mere mention that this is where the government wants to go is going to instill a lot of enthusiasm amongst investors.
I will immediately begin the overhaul of our trade system to protect American workers and families. Instead of taxing our citizens to enrich other countries, we will tariff and tax foreign countries to enrich our citizens. For this purpose, we are establishing the External Revenue Service to collect all tariffs, duties, and revenues. It will be massive amounts of money pouring into our treasury, coming from foreign sources. The American dream will soon be back and thriving like never before. To restore competence and effectiveness to our federal government, my administration will establish the brand new Department of Government Efficiency.
So here's where he gets to the Doge Committee. In restricting the amount of money that the government's going to spend. But the other part of that is the External Revenue Service, and I don't know if that's going to be an official department or what. And a lot of your corporations are not going to like this because they have overseas investments, and they know this is going to cost them money. And people say, well, if you increase the tariffs and you have this External Revenue Service and you tax the hell out of all the foreign countries and all the goods coming in, then isn't that just going to be passed on to Americans? Well, some of it will be passed on to Americans, yes. But you know what? You have a choice of whether you want to buy that item or not, okay? This is made in the United States, but if this is coming out of China or someplace else, and you say, wow, that's how much am I going to have to pay for this? And it's going to make you think twice about whether you want, is this what you want to buy? And also, it's going to encourage American manufacturing. So, yes, there will be a part that we're going to be on a diet. There's going to be a part where you're not going to be able to maybe get what you want to get. There's going to be a part where you're going to have to reevaluate your life, reevaluate what you're doing. But I guarantee you, if we stick with the plan, if we stick with this plan, if we have these high tariffs and we hit these foreign countries for revenue, through competition alone, you're going to have a lot of foreign countries are going to try to absorb those taxes that Trump is going to hit them on. But it's going to increase the incentive for American manufacturing. And if we have, just think about it, if we have American manufacturing, that opens up a broad platform for entrepreneurship in all levels. So I think all these things are a good thing. And there's going to be a lot of glass and thumbtacks going to be thrown in the road, a lot of nails in the road to defeat Trump's plan. There's going to be all kinds of legal battles. There's going to be a lot of whiners and complainers and people dragging their feet. But I think in all, if Americans will get behind this, as they got behind Trump in the election, I think that this is going to be a good thing for the United States. It's not going to be the fix. It's not the fix because, like I say, it's going to take many, many administrations and many Congresses to actually fix things. But this is the best path so far.
After years and years of illegal and unconstitutional federal efforts to restrict free expression, I will also sign an executive order to immediately stop all government censorship and bring back free speech to America. Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents. Something I know something about. We will not allow that to happen. It will not happen again. Under my leadership, we will restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law.
This is something that definitely needs to happen, and again, there'll probably be a lot of legal battles over it. But it's really this whole thing of going after political candidates, and like what they did with Trump, trying to drag him through the courts and try to defeat him that way. A lesser man would have been crushed by it, and That needs to stop. That makes us into a banana republic. It makes us into a joke. It forces the American people to question. Well, for one, it makes us think even less, if we can think less, of our government. I hate the American government. I absolutely despise the American government. Love the Constitution, but I hate the United States government because it is truly has become the enemy of the people. But Trump is trying to turn that around. He is trying to make the government, the United States, the nation of the United States, something that we can all get behind again. But as long as we know that we can be pursued by our own country, like the January 6th guys being thrown in jail, and because the whole thing was a setup, I am so happy. I'll have a separate broadcast on that. A show on this. I am so happy though that he pardoned every single one of them across the board. That in itself was worth his entire presidency right there. If he doesn't get anything else done, we're gonna say he did that. He did that. The freedom of speech and being able to say what you want to is central. And this whole debate we've had over whether there should be limits on the First Amendment is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. You want to destroy the Constitution? You want to destroy this country? Go after the First Amendment. Go after the Second Amendment. And the thing is, you go after the First Amendment, then all your Second Amendment guys are going to say, hey, I got a gun, so you better not come after me.